Did I tell you guys the Avocets are back on the pond?
What's up?
Dude, it's
a water bird,
that, dude?
Come on, bro.
Plovers over here.
Come on,
gotta help
brother.
out win. All right, guys, we have a show. We got to button up. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the DNVR Nuggets Podcast. Let's go. Man, live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your front range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR, my favorite car company. We also are presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use the code DNVR365 when you sign up. Choose your offer and find out why. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. What a show we have for you today.
We do?
You're about to find out.
Yeah.
We have a great show lined up for you.
You and the Toyota chat about to find out.
Because, the sun's out, 80 degrees. The birds are chirping.
Buns out,
The
bro.
plovers are back on the pond. There's just so much great energy in the air.
Yeah.
And the Denver Nuggets, it really is like spring rolled around and it's like a weight off of everyone's shoulders. We're going to give you notes from practice, some interesting themes continuing to emerge, and then we're going to talk about the stakes, the advantages, and the challenges of every player in this series against the Clippers. Man, we have a lot to get to.
Whoa, dude.
Isn't that, are you in?
I can't wait to talk about the tomahawk, man.
I'm going to listen to this one back, I think.
I can't wait. A
Stay
little
tuned,
ribeye,
everybody.
a little filet.
Harrison Wind is in the building.
Yeah, man, you felt the great vibes at practice today. We were both there.
Just washed over us.
It's just a new season, man. It's a fresh start. A lot of stuff has happened over the last 6 months.
Yeah.
There's been a lot. We don't have to remember any of it. We can forget about all of it.
It's actually the best part of this year. We actually don't need
It's a new season, man.
There's first 79 games. Throw those out.
For sure.
Absolutely no context needed there. These last three, though, man.
It's a new season.
A guy who actually believes that. D-Line, go.
I don't know how to tell you guys this. This is the season that's known for rebirth and fertility, where bunnies can lay eggs and
That's
where
right.
flowers can be born anew. And
Yeah.
the Nuggets are reborn through David Adelman. The pregnant man strikes. Are you familiar with the...
I was actually telling him about the pregnant man emoji today at practice. That was one of my questions.
Yeah, that was a good
Are
question.
either of you
Yeah.
familiar with the concept of the homunculus?
Yeah.
The homunculus comes from above, from the basketball gods, and
Okay.
implants itself in you.
Okay.
Without it's what allows for the immaculate conception.
Gotcha, yeah.
That's right.
So
No penetration, just
not
Yeah.
little,
a little tiny bit. Just a
penetration
tiny bit.
optional.
Okay.
And it comes in, and that's what happened with David Adelman. The rebirth of the
That's what
Nuggets.
he was saying today, actually. Yeah. Yeah.
Of all the people you could ask that question to, I think he would land the worst on David Adelman. I don't know if he's a guy that would find that.
We're fixing to find out. We're fixing to find
I
out.
don't know if he's a jokester, I don't know. Maybe we'll get to know him a little better. I don't know if
Jamal
he's
Murray
an old
said
joker.
he's funny.
Okay.
Does it like intentionally?
I don't know.
Is he pregnant man funny?
That might have been
Nobody's
part of
pregnant man
his,
funny.
his humor.
There was
Emoji
practice
of the day.
today, man. It's so nice having practice. I remember when there used to be practice all the time. It's kind of
Yeah.
nice when you get to go and just be around the team because it does give you. I mean, I know it's a simple thing. It sounds like a silly thing. Vibes about a team really are a higher percentage. I think everybody wants something more tangible that they can grasp onto and say, break down this coverage or that coverage. When I first came into this, I did those things almost exclusively. It was like, well, okay, I come from a basketball background. I'm going to do this. The more I cover a team, the more I'm like, those things, man, are almost more margin. And the bigger thing is the connective tissue, the leadership, the general sense of togetherness a team has. And that's why days like today are great because you get at least a little sense of that.
That's the thing about high level. Well,
Yeah,
thanks.
you get a little
Appreciate
thing there.
that.
Yeah.
What was I about to say about human beings?
I'm going to become a pregnant man pretty soon.
That's the thing about like
This
big,
keeps going this way.
just like big things that human beings are trying to accomplish. It's like
Yes.
once you can forget about what the thing you're doing is and put your head up to look at the larger directional parts of it. It's like, yes, all of that strategy matters, but it's like at a certain point, it just becomes, how do you get around the guy in front of you? You don't think about it as mechanically. How do you accomplish this larger goal? And there's like, that's why everybody's perception of basketball is correct. You know, it's like the way that they interpret it is through some part of it that is correct. It's just maybe doesn't speak to the ultimate correctness, but there is something that you're seeing that is right. Like there's a human aspect element. There's a statistical element. There's obviously strategic and aggression and athleticism and all those things. So that's what it's like. So interesting. Yes, the longer you go, you just find a new way to look at the game, to like understand the larger story involved. So I love that too.
Yeah. And we talk about all season how connected this team is. Are they connected? Are they not connected?
Disconnected, really.
They were disconnected. I do feel like they're connected right now, though. And I was just talking to Aaron Gordon for this interview that you guys will see later on this week, probably.
Stay tuned.
About the Nuggets and underwear, those two topics coming together.
It's a big, that's been a big topic in this town.
I know.
First Jokic's underwear.
Really has been. But something he did say to me was like, we are a real team.
Yeah.
We're connected. We're playing for each other. And I feel like that's been a shift that we've seen from where they were for most of the season to where they are right now, specifically over these last 3 games, heading into the playoffs after the firings happened. And now we're right there on the doorstep of the postseason. I do buy that they're connected. I do buy that they're this real team again. And that's maybe the most encouraging thing out of anything that could be happening right now.
But how deep does the connection go? Because while I would agree with you, the longer you stay connected, I think the deeper the roots take hold. And this team was not connected when they lost 4 games in a row and the vibes were horrible. They reestablished it and had a good 3 games. So are the roots deep? Were those roots that were already there and they just needed a little nourishment? That's the question. But speaking of connection, this is where Adelman started his press conference today when he spoke to the Denver media, which, by the way, lots of people. It's kind of funny. You go the whole year, there's nobody there, and playoffs happen, and everyone shows up.
All the big cameras come out this time of year. Is when all those big local TV
It's when
cameras.
all the people that know the lesson that we just learned, that everything that happened before this didn't matter.
That's actually true. Yeah.
They already knew this.
We're the idiots. But David Adelman, he says, if you're not connected right now, you'll be done quick. Yeah. Acknowledging how important this is. He says, it was good to see the guys win those 3 games, not just for seeding, but to reconnect a little bit. So he brings it up a second time in a second way. And then, of course, he goes on to mentioning connection, says that's our standard. And I like this because it is an acknowledgement of, in some way, I read into this, the X's and O's are part of this. All this stuff is part of it. The number one thing the Nuggets needed to do was reconnect. And he's mentioned this a few times, but today was the most definitive. He was like, yeah, that's what it was about. It's not about seeding. It wasn't about this. It was to reconnect a little bit, and we did that.
Yeah. I don't think there was anything more obvious to that point than that Rockets game. I mean, the Nuggets wanted that game. So did Houston. Yeah. At least that's the signaling they were putting out by playing all their guys. And the Nuggets blew them out. I mean, it wasn't a real game towards the end of the second half, but, I mean, that's some of the best consistent basketball that we've seen the Nuggets play in 4 quarters in quite some time, man.
Yeah.
And so that was a connected team. And I just feel like that's carrying over to right now.
Well, here's another thing that was interesting, because connection, okay, so we established that. We're on to that early because we just know. I think one of the central questions about this team, honestly, and if I can frame it in a way that's almost ominous but also hopeful, it's that the question that we're all feeling, whether we've articulated it or not, is that we knew in 2023 that was the most connected they've ever been. Wasn't necessarily the most talented or this or that, although it might have also been those things. But it certainly was the most. They knew exactly how they win games, and they went out and just did it over and over again. And that's why they won all but one game. What was it, 12-1 or something like that to close out the playoffs? They were dominant. And the question we're wondering to ourselves, we know that was gone for large stretches, so is it gone? Like, is that a thing that they had, but it's precarious and it evaporated and big changes are going to have to happen? Or is it something they're reestablishing? And that's why the stakes for this playoffs for the Nuggets feel so high. Because a failure doesn't just feel like, not this year. It feels like, is the magic gone? Whereas the flip side of that, the D-line brain says, yes, but we're seeing some of this. And if it's back, forget their record. That's the thing that made them special.
Forget the plays.
Forget the plays.
It's exactly that. It's exactly that. It is the way that I envisioned this Nuggets team would play coming into this season, where They have it actually very improved Christian Braun in the starting lineup alongside the other 4 that already know exactly who they are and how to get things done. You add a Christian Braun in, and then I think I'm going back to my initial assessment, but just in small amounts, that Russell Westbrook can be Bruce Brown in small amounts. He can bring that toughness, that energy, get you the big rebound. The things that Bruce Brown did can potentially hit a big 3, even when you're not really feeling that comfortable about him shooting it. Like Bruce Brown just kind of like did the thing when you needed it in the playoffs. And I can see Westbrook doing that kind of stuff. And then the bench in general, it's like, what was the rest of the bench back then? Is this bench really any worse than that bench? Like, but this is again, like a just broken record, man. First time we've seen this team all healthy together all season long.
Without their coach.
This is the first time. That's what sucks for Malone.
Well, they played 22 games, a quarter of their season.
But some of it, like Murray was back, but he was not back.
AG was off the bench.
AG was off the bench. I mean, you can really cut into it where you can look at it to say like all 5 guys in the starting lineup feeling 100% or some at least close to that, and then doing the things they want to do, where you get, like we saw last game, like a million finale oops, which we hadn't seen all season long because Aaron Gordon was always just stretching it out to the 3, and now he can play the dunker more because you have like more spacing and stuff. It's like, it just changes everything.
Yeah.
And I fully believe it's still there.
We know you do, and you're not wrong. Like you said, it is certainly an important.
I know. I'm hyped because I feel it.
That's what makes this time of year so exciting. Where it was going to be be nerve wracking until the big change.
Remember how mad I was like 3 weeks ago?
I do.
We actually were all talking about it
8 days ago. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. It was.
We were like, man,
do you guys remember how mad I am right now?
We're bringing it right back out of him. The beast is awoken. The other thing that I thought was top level to me from Adelman was a strategic insight, because he says we have to be creative. We may have to try some stuff out of the box in this series, talking about some of the problems that the Clippers present to them specifically. And he says, we can't just let him walk down the lane, spray the ball, throw lobs, step back threes. We have to impact him, meaning James Harden. And so what I love about this is he recognizes that Harden and the spread pick and roll and the kick out threes, this team can do that, so they can put us in a pickle. But then he recognized that the solution to that is creativity and outside of the box creativity.
Yeah, that was really interesting. And this is kind of the second time I've heard Adelman talk about the Nuggets needing to really mix things up on defense from a lot of what they've done this season, because I think it was in one of his first press conferences, maybe before that Sacramento game or after it, where he looked back to that OKC 2-game set that they played. Remember how in one of those games they just doubled SGA, got the ball out of his hands? I think it was the second game, the one they won. And that was something we saw from the Nuggets defense that we hadn't seen a lot this regular season. They hadn't implemented these like specific game plans that are creative and outside the box and totally different from what they normally do. And the fact that he brings, that kind of thing up again is really interesting, because I got to think the Nuggets have like some more tools in their toolbox defensively in terms of changing up schemes, different like little quirks they can throw at different offenses. I think they've got a lot more in the bag than they've shown. I really hope they do, because their base defense just kind of sucks. I really hope they do. And I think they do too, because we saw it in that OKC game. And I think we're going to see more of that in this Clippers series.
Yeah, dude, there's like a lot of very obvious things. They could pick people up full court. They could double people. Like when we saw, gosh, I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was, we did it to SGA. Yeah. We trapped him at the logo, made him get him right out of his hands. There's just a lot of stuff like that are just basic things that you can employ. And then there's like, this is what gets me so excited, is just, I love, and like as big of a Malone supporter as I have been forever, I always would bemoan that I didn't view him much as a tactician, and that I was anticipating that he was relying mostly on people around him, which is smart, but I
don't think he was. I honestly think this is one of the emerging stories.
That's what I mean. Like, I think that he listened to them, but ultimately he had a very narrow way of looking at things, which to his credit resulted in an NBA title. It seems like
Adelman's way more willing to mix it up on the fly.
Yes. But so I expect like clever things to happen,
exactly.
which I'm very excited to see, because we have a thinking team.
Right.
It seems like you should, if read and react can be on offense, like why not on defense also?
That's a great point.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the play. And one strength here is teams do try and mix things up throughout the course of the year. You mentioned Denver did it against OKC in a fairly high-stakes game. But it's almost nice that the Nuggets haven't shown too much this year. It almost hints at like we haven't actually done this, so we're gonna, some of the stuff we're going to do, even maybe as early as game one, there's not going to be a scout on. Can we pull it off? Who knows? But I think he's saying we are going to try some stuff that is out of the box, and that should make for an interesting setup.
And just thinking about defense in this series from a Nuggets perspective real quick, the Clippers play a style that I think helps out the Nuggets defense. It's just a lot of ISO, a lot of one-on-one, with Kawhi and Harden. Yeah, you've got Powell sprinting around some screens, and that stuff, honestly, is a little scarier to me than guarding Kawhi and Harden, who just, more straight line drive approach. I think this is a good series for a bad Nuggets defense, if that makes any sense. They got way more of a shot of defending the Clippers than they do like a OKC or a Golden State, or a team that's just going to mix it up and have more movement on offense.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some truth to that, but we're going to have to wait and see how it plays out. More from Adelman on the other side, as well as Jamal Murray and Russell Westbrook.
Guys, check out Game Time. Woo! Man, the NBA playoffs are coming up.
I can't wait.
We've been to a lot of Nuggets games. We've been to a lot of Nuggets playoff games. I just cannot wait for that atmosphere at Ball Arena starting on Saturday, man.
It's nice that it's the Clippers, so it's not one of these teams that travels.
Oh, yeah, we're going to dominate that arena.
What sucks
both arenas, maybe.
You know what sucks for me, though, and for all of us? I can't ever not sit courtside again.
It's so true. It is tough. Yeah.
So I'm kind of, what am I to do?
Yeah, but Game Time, they make getting tickets faster and easier, even for those hard-to-get playoff seats. Prices on the Game Time app, they actually go down closer to tip-off with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seats, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. There are a lot of ticketing sites out there. Some of them are confusing, especially on your phone. I don't trust myself to log on and buy tickets on my phone, but Game Time is not that way. Super easy interface, really easy app to use. Everything's right there on it. You log on, just shows you the best value tickets right away. They have awesome features like their ticket guarantees, views from your seats. Their algorithm just shows you the best deals. Last minute tickets, zone deals, easy to find and buy NBA tickets, lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, tons of other stuff as well. Right now, you can save up to 60% off buying last minute tickets with their last minute deals for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and even more. They got zone deals. Save even more when you choose a section like Game Time choose the seats. All in pricing, a feature you can toggle on and off. Lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% the difference. Game Time ticket coverage as well. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code DNVR for $20 off your first purchase. Use the code DNVR for $20 off. Terms apply. Create an account, redeem code DNVR for $20 off. Download Game Time. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Also, make sure to check out Empire Today, the best floors out there. Just like your favorite team needs a home court advantage, your home needs a home floor advantage. Empire Today can help you get it. They have flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals. That's all they focus on. Just flooring. Don't go to those big box stores.
Dude, never.
Never do that.
You know where I went today?
A big box store?
I hate to even say it. I hate to.
Stop talking.
Not for flooring. Not for flooring. Not for flooring.
I would hope not.
Not for flooring.
Jeez. Don't go there. Go to Empire Today. They've got experts who will give you one-on-one attention and help you for your flooring needs. Empire Today, they live and breathe flooring. They want to be with you every step of the way. Their flooring experts bring the showroom right to your home. You can pick the right flooring and right colors. See how it looks in your home. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. Some things are just better at home. DNVR listeners can get $350 off. A $350 discount when you use the promo code DNVR. The code DNVR, restrictions apply. Visit EmpireToday/DNVR for full details.
All right, we're back here, segment 2, DNVR Nuggets Podcast. Make sure you're subscribed, not just here on YouTube, but wherever you get your podcasts. Let's get more into some of these notes from Adelman. He talked about Jamal Murray, and he said they're going to throw a lot of guys at him, and this is going to be a hard series. for him. And I agree. I think that they are equipped to make his life hell. He says, but we need to help him because when he's right, he's our secondary engine. Not secondary option, secondary engine. So first of all, acknowledging that, hey man, this is a tough series for Jamal, and we cannot have him have a bad series. Yeah. I thought that was. I mean, I'm glad he kind of didn't dance around that.
It's the biggest story. I mean, whether or not Jamal Murray is able to be effective is what counted them out of the last playoff series they were in, and it's what gets them beyond every tough playoff series that they are in. It's like he really is everything. He's, obviously Jokic is everything, but it's like,
but he's also
you have to have that second guy. You have to. And, like if Jamal gets completely neutralized and you're then reliant on AG and MPJ and Christian, it's like, you don't feel terrible, but you certainly don't feel as comfortable in big spots,
Yeah.
Something great about Adelman also is he's been here for so long. He's seen Jamal Murray at his best in the playoffs.
Yep.
Adelman was the Nuggets lead assistant in the bubble. He was the lead assistant when they won a championship. Lead assistant in the first round against the Lakers last year when Jamal hit the 2-game winner. So he knows Jamal, man. I mean, he knows the whole story with Jamal too.
Yep.
He knows the up and downs during the regular season. He knows about how he can rise to the moment in the playoffs. And so he's got the right perspective.
And so here's where Adelman is interesting, and I don't know if this is being, he hasn't done a lot of media. One of the biggest changes from being an assistant coach to a head coach, assistant coaches never talk to the media.
Yeah.
Maybe a text,
they do coming out of the huddle, out of the... at halftime.
The fake ones on television.
They throw one guy out
what do you guys have to do better in the second half? It's like, we got to defend.
We're down 40.
But they don't have to do these things. But here's where it's interesting, and I respect him for it. I hope he never changes this. He was asked about Russell Westbrook, and he says Russ has to stay in his lane, just like Jokic, Jamal, Aaron, Michael, CB.
Dang.
Everything that in this league is emotional, and that's okay. Talking about him, use that fire in a positive direction. But he wrapped up by saying he's with us now, and we're going to work as a group.
Dang.
Now, watch the full quote. I don't want anybody to think I'm presenting this in a negative light. To me, what it more is, he came out and immediately played Pickett in that first game, a lot of minutes, Russ not so many. Then he came and played Russ a whole bunch, and he said, no, I have nothing against any player. I have no agenda. This is about merit. We're together. Wow. And if you're on the bench, you're also contributing because you got to support the guys that are out there. But I like that he led with Russ has to stay in his lane, just like Jokic.
Is David Adelman the first coach in NBA history without an agenda? Is he just agendaless? Is he the first person ever in the NBA without an agenda?
He's so green. He's just so green.
What could his agenda be, though?
His agenda is probably like whether or not he gets the parking space he hopes he gets.
He's just like, I'm going to play the best five guys.
He's like, hey, I know most spots kind of open lately, and I was just wondering if I
just got this agenda.
He's like the perfect child right now, man.
It is true.
No agendas. He said today he's never even thought for 1 second. This might have been a lie, but he said he's never thought for 1 second about this being an audition for him keeping the job full time.
He's like, what?
What I like about that quote, though, is who knows? Obviously,
I kind of believe him, though, man. That's just who he is.
But also,
he's just locked in.
What does he need to do to get the job? Win. So it's like, can you focus on anything? There's no scheming. It's like, I just got to play. Our team's got to play well.
I'm just going to play the best five guys. Who knows who it's going to be? I don't know. Yoke might not even be one of the best five guys. I'm kidding.
But we have more agendas than the
way more agendas. Are you kidding me?
We're like, this guy has to work out. You're like, why? You're like, I said it on Twitter, dude.
I said he was good. And people are adding me that he's bad. I don't know. No, but the Russell Westbrook thing, man. I mean, again, watch the whole thing. There's context to it. I thought it was said with affection and grounded, but at the same time, like, no gray area.
I love it.
Adelman knows they need Russ. Like, we all know if Russell Westbrook is with this team and locked in and we're getting the best version of him, this team can absolutely win a championship this season. Like, if Russell Westbrook is good, it raises the level of this team. It raises their intensity.
Right.
It raises the edge that they have and that they play with. It raises their toughness. And he knows that.
Yeah, man, I love that quote so much. I don't take it as negative at all. To me, it's just purely positive. It's saying, like we're clearly and there's something so beautiful about being able to have a built-in scapegoat for everything. You can be like, I know it didn't work back then, but now we're all together. Now Russ understands what he's supposed to do, whether or not it's just lip service or, Russ is like, yeah, got you, coach. No problem. Or if they really came to an understanding and a true, culture and directional reset where everybody feels like, like we had an offsite and like everybody left and you're like, okay, yeah, I actually feel like we're kind of doing the same thing. Like it actually feels just through some simple communication that we are now trying to do the same things instead of working against one another. That's beautiful because yes, we absolutely need what Russell Westbrook has to bring. We just cannot overdose on Russell Westbrook. Like he's like a, I don't know. He's like a low grade poison. You know what I mean? And like a little bit of it makes you stronger. A little bit of it makes you stronger, but a lot of it makes you angry.
I thought you were going to say maybe it's like a soda or something like that.
Where it's like a soda.
Because poison is just bad.
Right.
Unless it makes you tougher.
Low amount of poison be good.
Like shrimp cocktail is good. You just have a little shrimp cocktail. It's good. But if you're eating a lot of shrimp cocktail, it's like
I think maybe I made the backside a little too dangerous.
Oh, a fourth plate of shrimp cocktail. Huh,
I was thinking more like he kills you, but let's focus on the top part. Yeah.
Last one, coaching style and philosophy, and I love this one too. Just kind of points you to his calibration. If each coach that leads, if you're going to lead well, you have to do it your own way. You have to figure out how you want to lead. That's what I'm trying to do. Because this was asked about in the context of like Malone's leadership style or who do you copy? And he's saying like, I have to be my own leader. I can't try to replicate any of the other leaders I've followed in the past. And then he says, the practices have probably felt different to the players, which I love. There's quiet acknowledgments here, amongst Adelman. Quiet, I think very fair, not throwing barbs. But I do think he's even acknowledging of like, look, man, we were dead. But I think there's life.
Well, here's something interesting. Before the Nuggets opened the doors and let the media in practice today, it was a loud gym.
How did we not see each other? Because
I don't know what
the waiting room. Me and Harrison did not see each other,
but we were both at practice.
And the waiting room is like 20 feet by 10 feet. It's not a big room.
So I was there, and then I had to take a call right before they opened the doors, and that's when you got there, I think. But before they ended practice, it's not like they were going through the motions today. Yeah. Like was not a walk through anything. It sounded to me like they were scrimmaging. So maybe that's a little change up as well, but. You do have to change it up. I mean, it's obvious the leadership style that Michael Malone had faded in its impact at the end of this thing. So you have to switch it up. You have to be fresh.
Now, here's an even better quote. And I mentioned earlier about how perhaps, and some of the stuff I had heard and really heard recently, was that Michael Malone maybe did not lean on everyone on his coaching staff even, that he kind of like, hey, no, we're doing this. And what he says is it's been good to sit down, delegate differently, and quiet my brain down a little. As if like I now have a different focus than before. Yeah. And so for me to clear that focus, I need to delegate. And it's been nice assigning different people portions of this machine.
This is growth as a leader is this revelation at a certain point that it's actually more damaging for you to try and do everything yourself than it is for you to find that everything can be done at 80% of your capacity versus you just being spread too thin and never being able to get your full impact across. And yeah, it's like you don't know exactly how this goes because they work in an industry where it is good to have a really strong personality that only takes in so many opinions, like the president or something. Sometimes it's good to just have a strong, steady leader that is not constantly out asking for other opinions. Sometimes it's good to have a more almost corporate approach. It really depends on the team. I don't know that one is necessarily better than the other. Like Malone was just such a strong leader. That's the one thing I was really thinking about. I was talking about this with Andre. Like what I'm going to miss is in big moments, Malone is unflappable in that he's not, you can't scare him. You cannot back him down. You can get him angry, but like he's going to get right back in your face. And like there are moments, big moments where people can shrivel, and it could be the coaching staff could get intimidated. Michael Malone would never get intimidated. Just like the fight side of him would come out and he would like bring that strength. So we're definitely going to miss that. It's just, I feel pretty confidently that Jokic can supply that. But I'm curious to see how a more like, if it's good to have more voices or if it's better to have one strong voice.
Well, again, I think that those things are not opposites. I think what you need is the unity of like, well, we have a lot of brainstorming ideas on this and we come together under an umbrella. And that's hard to do because you can create, if there's a gap in there, then it becomes completely separate. But I kind of have a good feeling that Adelman, coming from a position where he was one of the inputs and probably has a perspective. I don't want to put this is my guess. Maybe had a perspective of how his inputs could have been better utilized. So when you move into the boss's chair, it's like, okay, well, now I am going to give to you what I know was more valuable, which I think is really cool. Let's take a second break. We're going to have a couple more, like just 5 minutes more from Jamal Murray and a little bit from Russell Westbrook on the other side before we start previewing what the stakes are for each player.
Gotta tell you guys about Miller Lite. Man, it is officially Miller time. Now, the playoffs are here. Not to say it wasn't before, but now it is really Miller time, man. The playoffs are here. We're ready to go. Game 1 is Saturday. The Miller Lite's going to be flowing from game nights to parties, friends with a special anniversary, like any event. Miller Lite is absolutely perfect. And did you guys know it's actually the 50th anniversary of Miller Lite?
Yeah. I did know that.
Some of my favorite moments watching Nuggets games on this very podcast, I've experienced, them with Miller Lite. Miller Lite been right by my side for some of my greatest memories, man.
I love it.
The dependable taste, great tasting, the perfect light beer, and it has that clean finish. It actually feels refreshing to drink a Miller Lite.
Oh, I could literally
96
go
calories,
for
3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. The best light beer out there. Yeah, I know.
Oh man, are we going?
They agree.
Thirst alert? There's a thirst alert?
They're going Colfax mode.
Thirst
out there.
alert. Wah, 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 wah.
They're going Colfax mode, man. Miller Lite always delivers simple ingredients and great taste. Miller Lite is brewed for taste, simple ingredients, 96 calories, 3.2 grams of carbs per 12 ounces. Miller time is always a good time. The original light beer since 1975 and still iconic 50 years later. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/DNVR to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Also, shout out to UC Health.
Ooh.
DNVR Nuggets is brought to you by UC Health, the official healthcare partner of the Denver Nuggets. And we're always thinking about our health here at DNVR.
Yeah,
D-line, that one time he walked to work, that happened.
Well, that was multiple times. But
multiple, sorry.
Not lately. I've been sleeping in too late.
Oh, come on, man.
That's also good for your health. Get your rest.
I mean, Adam, he looks like he's in great shape this time of year. He's been maybe working with his personal trainer still. I don't know.
I just am two very different colors depending on the season. I'm in my dark mode now.
Oh,
You're
dark
great,
mode.
Most people move like 3 shades. I move like 12.
Got to get that summer body ready, man.
Make sure you carry your papers around with you, dude.
Learn more about living like there is a tomorrow. Go to uchealth.org for more info. UC Health, live extraordinary.
All right, back here, segment 3. Let's wrap up these practice notes. Jamal Murray spoke today as well. And Jamal Murray and Russell Westbrook are two guys who are pretty short most of the time with their media availability. I thought the same was true here today. But there is something interesting here, and it's the word intent. Because that was the word of the day for Jamal Murray. He said, we're playing with much better and more intent, much more mindful of what we're doing. We got some momentum. We're trying to carry it into the playoffs. But the intent stood out to me. Like, we're deliberate in our actions.
He's philosophical. I love that. They're like they've gotten out of just fight or flight. Now they're thinking philosophically about how to go about the series. They're feeling comfortable. I love that.
Yeah. He also had this on David Adelman. He says, yeah, that's why we've won 3 games in a row. He gets his message across quick and clean.
That was
He's
interesting.
always serious about his work.
Also, because you were playing those 3 games, Jamal.
Little 2 of them.
Oh, two.
Excuse me. You're right.
David, I agree with that. I agree with Jamal Murray. David Adelman does come off as very clear and concise. Michael Malone did too, though, at least from the conversations that we hear.
Let me tell, because I actually have an opinion about this. I think Michael Malone was very clear and concise about the leadership themes and this like existential questions about, this, we got to defend, we got to do this. I think Adelman is very clear and concise about strategic things.
Yes.
And so it's almost like they focus on different things, but they both are very clear-minded in how they present those things.
And I think part of that is because Adelman is coming from the standpoint of, I've been the offensive coordinator all year. I've been in the strategy mode, where Malone has been the leadership mode mostly. And Malone rarely went deep into strategy in like press conferences.
Yeah.
He was always thinking from a leadership standpoint. Adelman's the opposite.
The last one he had, and this is a theme again that's emerging that I did not expect. Christian Braun. He said he's still getting better. You haven't seen the final product. He's poised, doesn't turn it over, controlled. He's only going to get better. This comes on the heels of Jokic talking about CB, having this, like, the main guys on this roster seem to really not just like CB, but think that it's like, I think there's this impression that he's a third-year player, but he's kind of a finished product. And they're like, hey, man, this is like a guy who's growing into something you're not even seeing. You don't see what's around the corner for him.
Dude, that's part of the, I mean, you know, that was part of the grand vision, that it got truncated.
I don't know if it was, to be honest with you.
You don't think having Christian Braun grow into a...
I think they had him growing into what he is. But what I'm saying is they're almost hinting at, like, there's layers of his game that he hasn't even tapped into, but it's there.
Well, I mean, he keeps surprising us. Like,
Yep.
I didn't for a second envision that he would be this good at finishing. Like, he's the best finisher that I'm never comfortable with him taking it. Like, it looks weird every time it goes in, every time. It's so incredible. And his shooting has improved. He really is just becoming more and more dependable through, like, just very solid, exactly what the situation calls for. And, you know, he's still young, and there have been times where it looked like the moment was a little too big for him, but, like, he's also shown a lot of times that the biggest moments he has no problem just seeing past the lights and playing. So, I mean, yeah, dude, I don't know. I mean, like, Christian, to me, he looks like the most improved player.
Yeah. He should be in the conversation. Yeah. It's going to be a massive series for CB because there's going to be so much of focus and attention on Yoke, on Jamal. If CB can keep doing what he's done for most of this season, man, like, that is going to be such a boost.
Yeah.
It's going to be an offensive boost that they did not have in that spot last year. You know, KCP, great defender. This isn't a KCP thing, but Christian Braun, he can fill it up way more than KCP could, just from a points perspective.
Yeah.
Like, Christian Braun, he's liable to just get 25 points in a game. Like, KCP never really did that. So, just offensively, man, he can be so crucial.
Westbrook had he had a couple things, but the only thing I really drew from it was when asked about the changing of the coaches, he says, Mike is great, but hearing different voices can turn some heads. That's what's happening around here. When there's a big shift, you can either spread apart or come together. I think we did a good job. But I like this idea of turning heads. Because to me, it's almost a quiet acknowledgement of, like, when the other guy was talking, nobody was turning their head. It was like, oh, there's just a noise in the background. But now everybody's kind of ear to it.
Yeah. And that also probably has to do with what time it is. It's the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's go time now. So everybody just is a little more naturally locked in. But, yeah, I love it.
The one thing I'll say about Russ, something I've observed that clicked for me today as I was watching the presser, he is a guy that has said on multiple times, and he said it a lot today, when people are like, does it make you happy when your team blah, blah, blah? And he's always like, my happiness comes from within. Like, would a championship mean something to you? It's like, hey, what means something to me comes from within. A championship would be nice, but, like, I'm happy in and of myself. And there's something profound and powerful about that, and I think it does speak to who he is as a person and how he views the world. But there's also a limit to that. So the power of it comes from, you know, he is confident in who he is. That's probably what's allowed him to have this bravado and push himself, because he has an inner motivation, an inner standard he holds himself to. But it's almost that he takes it so far, and this is just, I'm playing pop psychologist here, but he almost takes it so far in a way that it's like, he doesn't care what others think in a way that's like, yeah, but you need, I think there's a balance of that. Like, you almost have to have a switch in you that's able to let the flow in properly where it's coming from. And just today, some of the stuff about championship stuff, and I was kind of like, it is a little weird that you don't care.
There's no way he doesn't care.
I actually think that he's being authentic in this. It's not that he says he doesn't care about a championship. It's that, like, his every emotion he feels comes from within, not from without. And it's like, but that might be a shell you've built.
Yeah, come on. I mean, come on. You don't play. You're a competitor, right? It's not like you didn't win the art contest.
What about motivations, though? I'm saying, like, because a lot of people say my motivation comes from within, and again, that's a virtue. But it can also be a protective shell where you're like, I've insulated myself from anyone else's perspective in a way that's actually maybe you're missing something.
Yeah, I just have a hard time imagining. I mean, like, ultimately, these guys are artists in a sense. Like, they use athleticism to create their own version of basketball, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you want, but theirs is a competitive art form, and it's like you can't achieve your art will never be fully complete unless you prove that it was correct. Like by winning, like you can't, and especially a guy like him that lives in that world. There's no way that I just think that he doesn't want to talk about it. It's not like he's just guarding himself if it doesn't happen. He's like had to give up on this idea. You know what I thought about too, which I loved? I got a vision of this.
Yeah, let me hear it.
Russell Westbrook is going to be guarding James Harden a lot. Like that feels like correct. Doesn't it? Like those two just kind of canceling each other out.
They've guarded each other, I think, in the past.
I know.
They played together too.
That's what I mean. Like those two feel like they are meant to battle it out.
Let's get into some of the player stakes and advantages.
One more real quick thing.
Okay, yeah.
David Adelman did say about Jamal Murray that it's been great to have these couple days off because, and he kind of inferred this, Jamal looks really good.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yep, that he looks like
he's
very
moving
healthy,
really well.
which is important. Well, let's go to Jamal first then.
Love it.
First question I have for him, who's going to guard him? And here are the options. You have Chris Dunn, who I think will probably start on him, but one thing about Dunn, he's kind of tiny. Jamal's a lot stronger than him.
Long wingspan, but tiny.
So
6'2".
right there, I think that Dunn is going to be an option
6'2".
on it, but I think that that's an option that I actually feel really good about Jamal in that matchup.
Yeah.
Could be wrong, but
Yeah, for sure. Like I think that's advantage Jamal. But I don't think that's how it'll go down the whole time.
because I think they have a lot of guys, and one of the things you do against Jamal is never let him get comfortable. Like 4 possessions in a row with Dunn. Now it's switch. Now throw a new challenge at him.
It's Kawhi.
Well, Derek Jones Jr. to me is going to be one of them. Norman Powell might just be one of them, honestly, because there's enough good players there that Powell might have to take that assignment, and he competes. He has a little bit of length. The Kawhi question to me, though, is this. I don't think they're going to put Kawhi on him right out of the gate. I don't think they'll go to it very much. I think they may go to it in a close game one in the fourth quarter because he has the length, physicality, and I think he can overwhelm him. But I also wonder if it's more of a late series adjustment. If that's like game 3, it's 1-1, and it's game 3, and they're like, here's our surprise play.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's exactly it. It's something that if you're the Clippers, you don't want to have to go to.
Yeah.
But you will go to it if you need to.
Yeah.
And so I think it's going to be Chris Dunn to start. They'll cycle in guys, Powell, Derek Jones. There are going to be a lot of different bodies thrown at him. And in their back pocket, they'll have the Kawhi thing. If it's a close game, fourth quarter, clutch time, yeah, it's going to be Kawhi. They don't want to go to it, but they have it if they need it.
Yeah, I imagine they want to use Kawhi to just basically put on the Nuggets front court. Like they want to have him to be able to go in between Jokic and Aaron Gordon to double, depending upon I just envision that Tyler.
I think he's going to go on MPJ.
Yeah, I was going to say because
think
one,
so? Like
because he can save him.
Jokic. I think they're going to bracket Jokic with Zubats and Kawhi.
I think part of what Adelman had just done in his 3 games is building in some of the lower touches, but also I just think guys a little bit more freedom to attack, and that's kind of what you needed in that sandwich defense. So to me, I think Denver might be more prepared for that now than they were several weeks ago, not really just because of the last 3 games. So I don't know if they will. I actually agree with you. I think I would stick him on MPJ and one say cancel him out because Denver needs MPJ.
Also, it's just kind of an easier matchup.
And for
such
that,
a waste of him.
Well, it's except for you need him fresh on offense. So there's a little bit of, and like I said, to me, if I were coaching them, I'd be like, you're on MPJ, just don't let him score, keep him in the corner. And then on the other, and then fourth quarter, it's like now you've got Jamal. Like all game, you've stood in the corner guarding a guy that stays still. Now go get Jamal and be a 2-way player. The other question. So will the entire game time plan be stopping Jamal? Like every team says, this is our number one thing. And I actually wonder if that's what they looked at and said, we can't stop everything they do. We're going to make life hard on the edges. But Jamal's the one guy we're going to make sure this is hell. This series sucks.
I think that's the game plan for them. I actually think they might play Joker kind of straight up.
Yeah.
They've got Zubats.
Yeah.
The problem is that's their only big.
Yeah.
After him, they're a pretty small team. But they have Zubats, strong 7-footer who plays Joke really well.
God, I hope they do that.
I kind of think their strategy might be, let's just try to play him one-on-one, let Jokic be a scorer, and put our efforts towards canceling out everybody else.
God,
the problem with that from their perspective is if Zubats gets in foul trouble, this is advantage Nuggets.
Oh my God, I hope they do that. We will crush them if they do that. Crush them.
I think they're going to do it in game 1. I actually agree with you.
I think they'll come out that way.
Yeah, I think you want to just
they'll
see.
be. I mean, I don't think they're going to guard them in any one way, but I just imagine that's kind of how it'll start to break out. Like they'll have times where they're trying to cancel out Jokic. They'll have times where they're trying to erase Murray. They have times, with Aaron Gordon. Like the Nuggets are the Nuggets are a difficult team to guard.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of ways to
Agreed.
beat you.
And then the other question I have for Jamal is just how will he hold up? Because I imagine part of how they want to beat him up is to attack him, make him guard James Harden, fight over pick and rolls, make him guard Kawhi Leonard. And that's the part where I think they can. I mean, you mentioned his health. That's great. But I would put as much physical pressure on that hamstring as I can. You go sit down in your stance now against James Harden 20 times a game.
Yeah. And I'm sure they'll pressure him full court. Like Chris Dunn's a great guy to
He's a full court presser.
Full court press. They'll try to wear him down that way. And then, the Clippers, I know I did say they're a quote-unquote easier team for the Nuggets to guard because they just play a lot of one-on-one, a lot of line drives, a lot of ISO. But the downside of that is they are just very focused on, okay, let's isolate Jamal Murray. Let's isolate Michael Porter. Let's get those guys in switches. Have Jamal guard Harden one-on-one. Have him guard Kawhi one-on-one. So the opposite side of that is it's going to be a tough series because they're going to be locked in on getting Jamal Murray in those matchups.
One other thing real quick that I want to get to here. Is it all right, Kale, if I string this along? Okay. One last thing here to put a bow on Jamal. What are the stakes? And this is the one where I think the stakes may be the highest. Because if Jamal has a very disappointing playoff performance, whoever you bring in, however you move forward, whether it's a trade this summer or just how you evaluate your season as it goes along next year, I think a bad playoffs from Jamal and a loss by the Nuggets might actually be the end of his time here, whether it's a summer trade or not. It just might be one of those things where he's no longer looked at as the second guy. He's looked at as one of the guys, and one of the guys are expendable.
I'd be surprised, man. I feel like the thing that's more in trouble for him, well, we'll see. I mean, to just turn into Devin Booker, it's like, it's like they can't get rid of him. He's just there all the time. They could
get rid of Devin Booker.
Yeah, they can get rid of him.
But they won't. They haven't. I just mean,
they wanted
I don't mean
to,
like they can't. It's just like, although, I have no idea. I have no idea. Obviously, we don't know who the GM would be.
What I mean right now is that Jamal still retains his status as the number 2 guy. It's Jokic and Murray, right? And he's still part. I mean, it's Jokic, but it's Jokic and Murray. And then AG and all these guys are also like, they're good. They fit this. Jamal might fall to AG status. We're not trying to trade AG, but it's also a thing where you're like, yes, but he is a tradable player if that's what you need to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean.
It's all on the table. It truly is all on the table.
It's all on the table, and it's all at stake. Everything's at stake. I mean, if he
but
has
a great playoff run,
if he has a great playoff run,
that's off the table. That's
he's
back
our
team.
Up at 2023 levels.
Yeah,
best duo in the NBA.
Retire together.
Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah,
like Magic and Kareem. Like we're back on that trajectory again.
Totally.
He has the widest stakes, honestly, of anybody on the Nuggets. And honestly, some of the highest stakes of anybody in the entire playoffs.
Absolutely.
That's what's crazy about it. Guys, want to tell you about our Die Hard sale we have going on right now. You want to become a Die Hard. It's the best way to support us. $36 for an entire year. There's the QR code right there. $36 is for our NBA playoff entry offer. It's $36. You'll probably forget about it tomorrow, and you'll have access to all of our written content up on our website. And like I said, as well as a bunch of discounts and other access
You get a free shirt,
to Discord. You get a free shirt. You get
free shirt that we
all
just
of that
dropped?
stuff for just $36. But more to the point, it is the best way you can support DNVR. If you like this, want it to keep running, hop on right now. Also, by the way, we're having a competition against our other markets. We're winning.
Oh, we're crushing them.
It's close.
I mean, we
are winning.
Part of our advantage is that we invented this.
Yeah.
So that's
they suck. That's the other thing. But us, we're the best.
Yeah. Kale, do you have stuff for the ball knower bonus? Do you have artwork for that? It doesn't work. It doesn't matter. I'll just talk about it. We're also doing something cool. We're in the locker, the store, the merch store. If you want to buy a shirt, if you're interested in buying a shirt for playoffs or whatever, we have this new thing we're trying with this third party where you can pick an answer to a question. The question right now is, where will Travis Hunter be drafted? Either first or second or third through anywhere else. So it's basically a 50-50 chance. If you pick the right one, proving yourself as a ball knower, and then you buy a shirt, you just go about your business and shop as you would in the store, and you get the right answer, you then get a gift card equal to the amount you spend at the store. So if you just bought a $36 t-shirt, you pick Travis Hunter to be picked second overall, then you just get another $36 to spend at the store.
I don't know ball, though.
Well, you don't get bonus then.
Dang. That's
Only
still
ball-
Why'd you
Just
waste
ball
my time?
knowers,
This
man.
bill deal doesn't apply to
Only
me.
ball knowers get a bonus.
You gotta be a ball knower.
But you can fake you can just
Guess.
close your eyes and
Yeah.
you can be a ball picker.
Okay, there
Yeah.
you go. We got just 10 minutes here left in the show, so I want to try to get through one, maybe two more players. Christian Braun, let's go to him. The big question for me is just, can he guard James Harden? And to a lesser extent, Norman Powell, or maybe not to a lesser extent. You know, it's the modern NBA. Players, you match up on Harden, they just switch you off, and I think a lot of that will happen. But he is going to be guarding somebody. Kawhi, Harden, Powell, Bogdanovich. And as good as his offense has been, how is he going to affect this series
Yeah.
defensively is the central question.
This has to be a series where Christian Braun gets back to being, I'm not going to say like known as a defender, because now he's known as a good offensive player too, and I think that's real, but he's got to have a standout defensive series. I mean, the Nuggets just need it. And if this is going to be a long playoff run, Christian Braun's got to get back to being an elite defender. He just has to be a reliable, lockdown type of guy. And I think he's got it in him, but especially against this team, like Kawhi and James Harden, they're strong, they're physical, they've seen every type of defense and every type of defender out them. Christian Braun just got to bring it, man.
Yeah.
And he's got to be really solid in those matchups. He's got to be a plus defensively on that end.
Man, this is the one thing I'm really nervous about with Christian Braun is that he has shown himself to be susceptible to the head fake. And
No.
Really?
Oh, no.
See, I think he's good at it.
I mean, maybe he's gotten better and I haven't noticed, but there was like 3 or 4 games in a row where he fouled a 3-point shooter. And it wasn't just head fake stuff; it was closeout stuff. He showed himself to be a little susceptible to deception behind the 3-point line. And obviously,
Can't foul Harden on a 3.
Obviously, he's gonna be on Harden at some points, and so that is something a dynamic that makes me a little nervous. But it also makes me feel like I hope that he's ready for it, and he actually grows in that way too, in front of our eyes. And he just actually, I think he can defend Harden really well. Just by
Well, do you want to know what the stats say? Ooh. This season, small sample size, James Harden is shooting 3 of 14 against Christian Braun.
hello, eye test meets stats.
Oh, baby. Again, that's only 14 times, and I think 3 matchups
Whatever.
against him.
I don't care.
But hey,
Who cares, dude?
You know?
Small sample sizes for winners. But so I feel good about that. I feel really good about that. That makes me feel like that's part of the Clippers' attack that you can at least think is, if not neutralized, at least in check.
Yeah. He's got the girth, for Harden's like
so
a girthy guy.
He's very girthy.
Will he be left open from 3? He only took 7
Yes.
total threes in 4 games. So that was not part of their strategy, just make him pass to
Or
him.
maybe he just didn't take them.
Or maybe he just didn't take
That's
them. But
probably
7,
more of it.
less than 2 a game in the games he played as well. And then this one, they are 6th in opponent fast break points since the All-Star break. He's a transition guy. So is he going to have an offensive role? Are his transition points going to dry up in the series? Probably.
They generally just dry up a little bit in the playoffs, too.
So that'll be something that's a little bit interesting just to see how Denver's able to press that.
He's going to have to take and make threes. I mean, I think the Clippers will leave him open before leaving Aaron Gordon open.
How many super chats so far, Kale? Just so I know. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry, buddy. I'll break the fourth wall today. I don't care. Let's do Michael Porter Jr.
we have a
real
fourth
quick.
wall?
We have a fourth.
I thought we had
no walls.
I thought we had more of a fourth road.
Michael Porter Jr., the big question. Oh, wait, the stakes for Christian Braun. I think he's earned himself a nice contract,
Yeah,
and I
not
don't know that anything
fairly
meaningful
low.
will happen.
I hope he doesn't have too good of a playoffs.
That's true. Actually, a great breakout playoffs might actually raise his ceiling a little
Like,
bit.
is he a
He's
max
averaging
player?
more
I know, I'm telling you, it might actually
Are we going to
be-
have a 4th max contract?
It might be frighteningly high already with how he's scored this year.
I need some controversial pullings. If he's going too well, we have to just wreck his confidence for a game or two.
Michael Porter Jr. here, will they attack him? And then I put it in attack. I think they would be a little foolish to attack him in ISO, although as good as he is of an ISO defender, Kawhi is way stronger than him. James Harden is really crafty. I'm not sure MPJ's ISO defense will hold up against those guys, but you know what? Why not? I think where they'll really attack him is as the low man. And I think that's where they're a smart enough team to try to put him in the position to have to make the rotational defensive play. And that's the area he's just not good at.
Yeah, he can hold his own definitely in certain one-on-one matchups. I don't think Kawhi and Harden are good matchups for him
They're
one-on-one defensively. Just the type of defender he is. More of, a stationary defender. But I agree. Like, attacking him off ball is is where you want to go if you're an opposing offense.
Or through screens.
Yeah, through screens.
Also really bad at that.
Like if he's on Norman Powell, yeah, you want to run Norm off of as many screens as you can and get him moving.
Yep.
Here's another one for you. Can he get hot from three? Mike is funny in that he has had some scorchers in the playoffs and he's had some stinkers. And I do think a lot of that has to do with how teams defend him. And I would guess the Clippers are going to defend him like Minnesota does, get physical, try to bottle him up.
I know.
And stay home in some other areas. But if he just has game 1, 4 or 5 threes, it's like the Nuggets are so different when he hits those. Can he get hot?
Of course.
Clippers doctors.
This is the Clippers. This is the Clippers Doctors revenge series.
If I'm not mistaken, and I might be mistaken,
he was the last guy on
Mike
the
was born.
Mike was born
against the Clippers.
It was
a Clippers series.
It was
a massive shot. A
coming
shot
back to
none
the
of us
birth.
can believe that he took, and it worked, and it was great. And yes, absolutely, my man can get hot.
We need a Porter.
I don't know that they have a Jaden McDaniels like Derek Jones Jr.
He's really good. He's really good.
But is he as I don't know like
he's not as like rough and tumble.
that's what I mean.
But
Like,
he is
more,
as good
he's
of a,
more finesse.
He's more of a good defender. He's as good of a, or in many ways as good of a defender.
he's
bigger,
way
too,
more
but he's
not
athletic. He's way quicker, or he's at least as quick. I just don't know that like Jaden McDaniels is the perfect MPJ defender. Like
his demeanor, even he's kind of like
he just erases him. Like there's nothing left. I think he can be. I mean, I fully suspect we're going to see a lot more plays run for Michael Porter Jr. I just think there's going to be a lot more plays in general run. And so I do think we're going to see more than just him just coming off of a curl over and over, like the only play that we ever see run from MPJ. Like you can see like some things that I can imagine some drive and kick kind of stuff, like where they're actually looking to utilize his spot up ability. I think he probably will be hot. Like I kind of think this will be a good series for him.
Can I ask you? I don't feel like there's big stakes for him. I almost feel like Mike's Mike.
Yeah, he is.
Well, we learned that he'll never be traded.
He could be more tradable after this deal, or he could be less, or the Nuggets might not want to do anything because they win the championship.
Yeah, I mean, all those things do feel on the board.
Everything is actually on the table.
All right, Kale, let's dive into the Super Chats. What's the Toyota chat have to say?
Mr. Exquisite Nugget, I predict max 6 games. Yoke goes 30-14-15 game 1.
Okay. All right. I like it.
Keith Peterson, go Hopkins high.
Hell
Both
yeah.
Amir Coffey and Zeke Naji play at the same public high school as Paige Buchers.
Beckers. In Hopkins, Minnesota.
Paige, well, I've heard it pronounced.
So hold
both
on.
ways.
So
Did it
Paige
in Hopkins, Minnesota.
Paige Beckers and Chet Holmgren have kind of like a weird, like kind of like a you know kind of accent that it feels like they gave themselves. But is that just a
maybe
Minnesota
it's the
thing?
area? Yeah, they're from
Maybe,
8 Mile.
All right.
Francisco, can't wait for the DNVR playoffs watch along special
With-
with Malone and Booth sitting on that
Bro,
couch.
is there
Dude,
anywhere?
Cal, I think would do it. But I mean, I don't think he will do it. But I could, like Cal, I could see
Brother,
like
that would be
I think he will do it, but he won't do it.
Malone has already politely declined to come on the show.
Reacting to
Or
the
I should
games
say
and
politely
drinking.
ignored.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. But we will be live for, of course, a watch along every playoff game.
Can't wait.
From a new set.
Can't
to
wait.
debut that.
Oh.
Felix Tannenbaum, Adam, and other fans of Denver history and basketball. There was a new video uploaded to Reddit today that tells the story of Denver basketball from like 1910 to 1980.
On Reddit?
Wow.
Wait, what?
Haven't seen that, but interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely watch
Highly
that.
recommend.
Well, hold
Called
on, the
the
Nuggets are
NBA's
over 100
worst
years
ever
old?
franchise, the original Denver Nuggets. Jeez. Okay.
Wow, that's what it's called. All right.
Boyd Sauce. Are Zoo's defensive stats on Jokic a little skewed by that legendary 9 for 32 performance from last year? In my opinion, Jokic is going to cook this dude. Probably, and I think those stats are a little fake.
I think he guards him well, though. I will say that. I think that he is among the best defenders in the league for Jokic. It's just
For sure, but it's
just
Jokic.
But you know who else is? Anthony Davis and Rudy Gobert. Jokic's torch those guys.
Can you guys tell from Jay Buntrock, can you guys tell us anything about Ben Tenzer? Ben Tenzer has been on the show before, actually.
Yeah, you're right.
Does he have any chances to stay on as GM?
Ben's a great dude, man. Really, really down to earth guy.
Really smart
very,
guy,
very
man.
smart guy. He's been with the Nuggets organization for like 20 years.
Yeah.
His story
And he's
goes
only
back-
like 30 years old.
Yeah, like he started as like an intern, really young. Just
I think it was like an equipment.
yeah, like
No, he was an equipment in basketball operations while he was getting his law degree from UCLA.
What I would say, very smart guy, very hard worker. What I would say of him is he seems to me like a guy without an ego, which I think is a really important thing. I think he's smart, team guy. He's the type of guy I would want on my team if I were the GM of a place. I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, this is a guy that's only about the right things and does his job.
I would guess he is not going to be the GM, but if the incoming GM was smart, he would keep him on his staff.
I agree with that. Everybody, by
he
the
knows
way,
the organization.
this concludes our Fast Channel portion of the show. Go catch the rest of this overtime on the internet.
Drunk Philosophy. Whoa, got the midday live show. Thanks, gents. Let's go Nuggets.
Good job to
Yeah.
you. Glad you're not drunk.
Jason Cap. New term. Yokitis?
Yeah.
Noun. The idea that one thinks only he/she appreciates Jokic play fully and that everyone else fails
Yeah.
to see his full
I
value.
don't
is
think
not-
that's Yokitis,
No,
though.
no,
That's
no.
got to be something else. But I will say that I actually have long suffered from this.
Yes.
Yeah,
I,
Me
I don't
too.
think anybody else gets it like
it's
I
an
do.
effect.
Nobody else
like
gets
the
it like I do.
Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yeah.
It's called it's
The
called
Jokic effect.
Yeah, it's called great blindness.
I think that everybody kind of gets but nobody gets it like I do.
That's what the thing is that I see things other people don't see.
Yeah, no, with Yoke, I wish you guys could see what I see, man.
I'm glad you can't see what I see.
Wilson the Ghost. Underdog Nugs. Greater than Smuggets, greater than Clippers. We're back.
It's so true, man. We were so uncomfortable as Smuggets. We're so good right now.
Well, I
Nobody
know.
believes in us.
We like bought a ill-fitting suit. We showed up to winner's dinner and we like got a mustard stain on our coat. We can't do it.
I Nugs. So excited for
sport do I use?
Saturday.
I don't know.
Nugs and Avs dual run LFG.
Hey, man. How many times can we haven't talked about it a lot, but dual parade still possible.
Until it's not possible. You know what that is? Possible.
Possible, baby.
Saturday is going to be an all-time day at the bar, though. Avs at 7, Nuggets
Oh, yeah,
at
we do.
1:30.
Oh,
and
Avs
we're gonna
is
be
officially
live
at 7?
Oh,
and
by
we're
the
gonna be
way,
live
Do we
the whole
have
time.
a link?
Go
to the events page, right?
Eventbrite.
Oh, I don't think I haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah, it's because I think it's not going out till Friday.
What?
Maybe
She
we'll-
hasn't set it up yet?
Well, because
Lindsay, if you're watching this, I'm
she
going
wanted
to kill
see
you.
the Avs and what their schedule
Oh,
was.
Lindsay, if you're watching this,
you have to
I totally understand.
You have to RSVP though if you want to get a table to like guarantee see yourself a table. You can still come, by the way, and there will be like standing room only. But I know some people like to come here and try to get early. Instead of doing that, they've just created these slots where you have to reserve a table. I think it's $10. It's nothing.
I think it's a $10 cover.
$10 cover anyway just to get in because place is going to be popping, man. There's no place like the DNVR
But you
bar
want to be here. Yeah,
for
you
the
can
playoffs.
reserve a table.
So just
reserve
reserve it.
one so you're taken care of. Jeremy J. Rock Michael, second chip loading. Let's stay on parade, fellas.
Let's stay on parade.
Carrot Hammer and Doug's have a new life. Let's start this chip run.
Let's start it.
Chip run.
You know, what would your series prediction be if Jokic, Murray, and Gordon swapped with Harden, Leonard, and Zubats? And each
cares?
team's role players?
That's so much math to that's so hard to wrap your head around.
My pick would be Clippers in 6, I think.
Which one is the Clippers? Is the Clippers
Yeah.
the one with our role players, but their top level players?
Jokic in 6 is what you're saying?
Yeah, Jokic in 6.
yeah.
Okay.
Jay Kerr, new diehard member here.
Yeah.
As a heartfelt thanks to DNVR team
Yes.
for enriching my Nuggets season with their insightful analysis, humor, and
Emotional support.
No, it's emo support.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
we also help people with their emo.
With their emo support, we
band,
just
yeah.
play
Jay
radio.
Kerr,
Yeah.
a real one, man.
First,
Kyle M. Hey,
Oh!
Kyle.
Hey, you did
let's
it!
go. Thanks,
Hey,
Kyle.
you did it! He's on the board. He's got one from
The
Kyle.
fourth wall is officially broken.
Officially shattered. Everybody, thanks for hanging out. We're going to continue doing this. The stakes for these players, and as well as the advantages and weaknesses, we'll pick this up tomorrow. We'll also have another practice. And these practices right now, they're not standard. We're going a little long on them because I feel like this is all new info. You know, so it's like extra interesting. We hope you enjoyed it as much
All
as we
leading
did.
up to our official picks, which we've not given yet.
I haven't made my pick yet. I'm still
That's
doing my
what
research.
made
I
mine.
just said.
Hit that like button on the way out. See you tomorrow.